Welcome to Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-date news on the political scene of Donald Trump, his presidency, American politics and conspiracies. Please subscribe to receive notice of our daily updates. Also share with your friends and your social media. We encourage you to like our videos and give your comments.
This is TBNN.
President Trump decreases the debt-to-GDP ratio in his first year in office. First time in more than 50 years. The higher a country's debt-to-GDP ratio, the less healthy the country's economy. With the GDP numbers released yesterday, President Trump's policies have officially decreased the debt-to-GDP ratio by 1.2% in the president's first year in office. In contrast, President Obama increased the U.S. debt-to-GDP ratio his first year in office by 14.5%. Obama increased the rate a total of 37% over his 8 years in office. Since his inauguration, President Trump has focused his efforts on the security of the country and on the prosperity of its economy. The results of his actions are taking shape. The U.S. GDP has increased each quarter in 2017, with the fourth quarter GDP increasing to $19.739 trillion, the highest GDP for any country in world history. On the other hand, the president has curtailed U.S. spending. The result is that the U.S. debt-to-GDP ratio decreased in 2017 from 105% to 104%. No president in more than 50 years has decreased the debt-to-GDP ratio in his first year in office by more than 1%. The last president to do so was Nixon in 1969. Presidents Reagan and George W. Bush decreased the debt-to-GDP ratio in their first years in office, but by less than 1%. President Trump has the stock market at all-time highs, jobs at all-time highs, and the debt-to-GDP ratio decreasing. As a result, America is moving in the right direction for the first time in at least a decade.
This has been the Trump Breaking News Network. Please subscribe and share to stay up to date on the latest news about our president. Be informed.